All right, folks, welcome back to PrepperNow. Do a little live stream escalation talk of what's going on, of course, between all of our belligerents in the Middle East and what's to come. So far, on par with about what I expected. I said about 36, 48 hours. So we've gotten through the first 24. So potentially tomorrow morning, Eastern Coast time or sometime around that, you'll start to see the rhetoric change. I mean, these are head fakes. They do this stuff on purpose to see what kind of things are moving. By the way, I just saw a video of numerous Russian logistical military vehicles arriving in Libya. So why would they be arriving in Libya? Well, I don't know. It's pretty darn close to Egypt, which is pretty darn close to the Middle East and right there on the Med. So, logistics is going on right now. And so from here, it's just getting things, everybody getting their act together, getting their assets in place and see what happens. We are still kind of in a run up. It's kind of like the boxers are at the table and they're yelling at each other from across the microphone, and they do the weigh in, and one guy slaps the other one on the stomach, and that kind of that's kind of where we're at. So we're not full show. You'll know, you'll know. So I'll tell you. So right now, I've been going through. I got the crisis report ready to roll for afterwards. For those that are following me there, thank you. That's where we talk about all the intelligence that's out there that I find and tabulate, as my wife and I affectionately call it. As she sits there and watches her television, and I hang out with her and see all the wonderful things going on in the world. I mean, personally, I almost think the cyber attack thing was going to happen. At first today, I thought, oh, great, they're going with the most unwanted option, which is the full-on just, go for broke. But thankfully, they didn't do that. So cooler heads prevail. But again, logistics, it's not like they don't want to throw down. It's just two kids in the playground that have been messing with each other for a little too long, and everybody's kind of stacking behind them. What's most concerning about tonight, from what I've said, there's things I try to look through, and I try to find the things that other people are not really talking about that I think are major signs and concerns that are problematic to this whole thing. And Shoigu of Russia basically said that they're watching and they feel that they would potentially aid the Iranians in a response. Now, what that looks like, I don't know. There's not a lot of specifics. I've heard, fighter jets and stuff like that. Then I see video of the Russians in Libya, and pulling off assets from there, which if you know your geography, isn't too terrible. They're in Tobruk, I think it was Tobruk. Let's go to the old imagizer and see where Tobruk is on the map. And that looks to be, let's see. Oh yeah, look at that. That's probably about 60 miles from Egypt. And then from there, it's Cairo. Let me get a legend. God, remember when they had maps and they'd put like, very helpful things like how long 50 miles is? There we go. There's 100. So it looks like 50 miles from the border and about 350 from Cairo. Cairo to Israel is probably another 250. So you're talking about 750 miles away from the big show. So, and right on the Med. So that's an interesting thing to see. Yeah. Tamara, thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it, man. Hey, man, I'm safe, sound, drinking my coffee, watching the sun. Israeli intelligence from friends. I might say they expect Pesach. There will be war, and that is a sign of Mashiach coming in Pesach, according to prophecy. So You know what? I mean, you'd be lying to yourself if you didn't see a lot of things lining up with all that. So um, I'm just kind of sitting back and calling it all and trying to get as close to the Lord in my free time as possible. So yeah, it's there's a lot of concerning signs on all levels, all levels. So Hudson, thank you so much for being here. Scrappy, thank you so much for being here. I did a little review of the CW movie that's been out. I don't know. Some people like, some people. It's my daytime vids. Those don't get much play because, well, everybody's working, and that's why I like to come here and just kind of spit wad for a while. But anyway, if you haven't seen that one, go check it out. It's got pretty good. It's rated pretty good in the what people are saying. But then again, my videos really only get pushed out to people that are notified with all the bells and whistles. If I get 200 notifications on a video out to people, that's a win. So that should tell you with 28K and plus here and 8,300, 8,200 on the other one. So anyway, this is concerning because now you've got the bigger dogs in the cage with Iran behind them saying, we're going to back them up. China hasn't outright said that, but there was meetings between, I believe, Yang Wei, the foreign minister, and Abdullahian, the Iranian foreign minister. So they're definitely talking to each other. The Houthis sent a few little reminders up to Eilat on the southeast, reminding people that they're still in the game. It's just right now we're just kind of sitting here waiting for things to really get flowing and going. I think we all expect an escalation. Everybody has basically been pushed into a corner where you either respond or you're considered weak. That's the biggest problem. And if people are considered weak, well, people take advantage of them. It's just like any kind of mentality in the jungle. So right now it's about 6 a.m. Tel Aviv time, so things are probably starting to wake up. And as it stands right now, nothing major is going on. And yeah, all the markets are waking up over in Asia and stuff. Oh, there's a way we can go. So, I kind of like to deal with the financials and stuff. I think that's where people will mostly be affected with everything. And I read a post saying that if this were to really take the next leg up, and I'd say right now it's about at worst 75-25, at best 50-50. If it takes the next leg up, you're going to see $130 a barrel oil. That's what this analyst said, Wall Street Journal folks like that. They basically say that at this point, if things really get rolling, the gas prices are going to become killer. And so, a year and a half ago, I went and I traded out my truck and I got a Prius, and I own it. Paid for it basically outright, and I don't like it, but it gets about 48 miles per gallon. And right now, looking at everything, I'd rather have that than an 18 mile per gallon truck that looks cool in a parking lot. So Raymond Knight has a good point. The markets are weaponized. Absolutely, they are. You can tell when I'm not a big Trumper, but I think what they do to him is kind of a tell of what they'll do to conservatives. And so his Truth Social has been just getting hammered by the algorithms of the trader desks and stuff like that. So it'd be interesting to see, what happens with all that. I mean, his Truth Social is doing well. It's a pretty good, useful little thing. I posted about 10 minutes before I came on here along with X and Minds and on Gab. So I like to put those in there. But it's it's something, by the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes. And so right now, I'd say tomorrow during the day. I think honestly, it kind of seems people are talking now, and one guy from Israel, one of the defense people, said we have to respond quickly because if we don't, then the window is going to pass, or something to that extent. Basically, translation: if we don't respond pretty much immediately and forcefully, uh, you know, um, what it means is that we're going to be seen as weak, and so we can't have that. And I'm looking through all this, and you look at the pro Iranian side, which is funny because it used to be pro Gaza, pro Palestinian. Now we're talking about a war between Iran and Israel. So from 6 months ago, I mean, just to say have deteriorated would be an understatement. I also got this paper I put up on my subscription services, kind of detailing how it would be that diplomatically Israel and in the U.S. would kind of goad the area into war. It's an interesting read. Everybody basically is saying, hey, we're not the belligerents here. We're responding, that kind of thing. Um, Iran says that they hit our embassy in Damascus, and we had diplomats there. And if you ask the Israelis, they'd say, well, that's because on October 7th, you did terrible things to over 1,000 people, and we can't even negotiate with you anymore because you basically killed them all. So both narratives are kind of, it's like anything. It's you're going to make things tailored to your side to fit that narrative that you think is going to get the most people on your side of things. So right now, what these two countries are doing is effectively cobbling support from all the other big dogs. Israel and U.S., Russia, Iran, and China, UK, France. They're talking, and now because of the response that they gave in helping the shooting down of the very telegraphed response by the Iranians. And I give the Iranians, credit. They said we gave everybody notice 72 hours that this is what we're going to do, so we can show that we've got some things in our stockpile, but at the same time, we're not going to make it so we're really, going all out. We're keeping it reserved, and they did. So here we are at that next stage. The reserved responses are basically cashed out. And from here, the gloves are about to come off, and real punches are going to be thrown. Iranians said tonight that they have, and again, I'll cover all of this in full detail on the crisis report, which I'm going to do immediately, probably at about 11:05. I'm going to do another 10, 15 minutes here. I like doing this. I kind of get the overview and analysis, and then we go through it, and I can kind of parse out what I've thought. Basically, they said they've got new weapons that they haven't used before, and they're going to start to bring those out. I'm sure the Israelis are the same way. They're using things that they've never used before. I mean, there's frickin' laser beams on the battlefront now for service to air missiles and stuff like that. And the Sea Dome, the one that's on the frigates, that's never been used before until the last few weeks. The Iron Dome version for naval ships, things like that. You know, we're starting to see the newer weapons. We're starting to see the newer responses. We're starting to get responses from the tougher armies of the world and people in the entire chessboard. This whole who's going to be on what sides, the dodgeball team. Everybody's picking their teams right now. for what eventually could see as few as 3 to 5 to potentially 10 to 15 different nation states fighting in this third installment, and that's the problem. Yes, sharks with freaking laser beams. $1 million. Yeah. So, oh, I love doing the voices. So here we are. I don't know exactly. Great British Prepper. You just actually put another thing there. That was actually one of the things I think the Israelis said is that they might bring out one of their electromagnetic things and go after. That's why I thought maybe something of a cyber attack or to hit critical infrastructure in the in Tehran and other major cities of Iran. I thought that might be the go-to response because it flexes your muscles, it disrupts daily life, it shows all the people on the ground that the power can go out, and we have the capability to do such things. As I said last night, Israelis are, I mean, they're tops when it comes to electronic and cyber warfare. They're Nobody is better. So that avenue would have a good response, but also would be the kind where it would keep things at it's still a kind of a reserved level. Honestly, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm going to be honest with you. That's the kind of response I'm hoping for. If they start chucking missiles, or if they just go balls deep and really, start just hammering the country of Iran, wherever that may be, whether it's military bases, oil fields, or cities themselves, I don't know, or a combination thereof. That would be, that's when your oil goes to $130 a barrel. So, as the prepper in me says, I don't know about you, but you might want to have a bit of a game plan in the next week or so, coming weeks, for what $120, $130 barrel oil would look like at your house. Do you have cans to fill up? I've got 75 gallons worth of cans to fill up, and I've got PRI. So, for those that don't know, there's stable and PRI for properly storing and making it so you have gasoline or fuel for a long period of time. And we've got big canisters and everything else that are all basically ready to roll because, well, honestly, on October 7th, I filled them all up. I've gone through them by now because, didn't do anything. Nothing really went haywire when it came to the prices. So I just kind of cycled through them, and um, we had a rental car, and he got fed a lot of that gas. So, you just have plans, friends. I guess that's the larger thing. And right now, yeah, I mean, Great British Prep. I can't even imagine being over in the UK. What that means. Coke machine. It's stable. STABIL. Here, I'll put them in. STABIL. And PRI. I'm a PRI guy. I think it's better. It's cheaper. I think about the same. PRI, you can get really good deals online when you get the Big Daddy thing. So, no, it's all good, man. You don't got to say you're sorry. This is why we're just spitwadding here. We're talking about things that can get you prepared. I'm going to go through the intelligence and all that, and then we'll kick it down to the prepper side of things. Yeah, so we've been making a lot of meals with our Rona stash. I'm going through the cans there to get going. I mean, and also think about that. What will that look like if it is $130 oil barrel? What do food prices do? What happens when everybody? I mean, it would just the entire economy would go to a standstill. You're paying $6 a gallon in Sticks, Tennessee, or wherever the heck it is you are, where you're used to paying $3.12. and it goes up to $5, $6, man, that changes your your the way you handle things very quickly. So I mean, we've got it down to a game here where the gas is. We have like 3 places. There's a place over by the Bug Out Farm that's got real cheap gas. There's a couple places where we are, and you got Sam's Club. Um, you know, so just trying to keep that going. But yeah, I mean, game that out. What does that look like? Daryl, don't you live in Styx, Tennessee, dude? I've heard of it. And it's spelled STYX, like the river, my man. A cold prepper is correct. The economy is what's going to affect us. Anybody saying that, they're going to be flying over us and doing sorties and all that kind of stuff, I'm not worried about that kind of thing. I'm more worried about economic kind of stuff, and there's a lot of cracks going on with all that. I mean, all you have to do is go look at the price of gold in the last month and say there's obviously some pretty major problems. I mean, they're able to hammer that price of gold with their paper futures and all that. Monkey hammers, they call it in the financial world with like nobody's business. But well, it's out of control now. In fact, I don't even know where gold is. I mean, it's got to be approaching 2,500. Same thing with silver. And silver, man, I'm not a financial expert, but if you're looking for the shiny, the silver is probably the go-to. Let's see. Let me find that price. There we go. SD Bullion's good. Price, I always go to Kitco. 23.85, so almost 2,400. It's been definitely hitting that 24. Yeah, hit that. What was it? Yeah, it graced 2,400 there pretty soon. I'm looking at the charts right now. So, I mean, right there. Think about that. Think about that whole thing. I mean, that has just been going gangbusters. So, uh, so all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you can do all these protective stuff. You can try and game theory all this, and I mean, there's only so much you can do. You can, who can, none of us own an oil field, so obviously we can't store 500 gallons of oil, or gas, that which would be dangerous. Don't do that. So, there's only so much you can do. You can only prep so much. Everybody's broke right now. You can only prep so much. So that's kind of the problem is, you want to game theory all this and say, okay, well, $130 oil is coming. They just did some major strike and everybody's fighting now in the Middle East. Take the canisters down, go and get them all filled up, and hopefully save yourself, but how much are you going to save in the long run? That's the thing. Our mother-in-law has got a bunch of diesel machines, and I've got a system over there with one of those like fuel pump things, and she could use it. It's big old barrel, and she could store 60 gallons pretty easily. But it's like, what's it going to do in the ultimate scheme of things? It might save her a couple $100, but you also have other things going on, danger. I don't know. That's one thing I've always prepped. It's always tripped me out and always kind of made it tough. I just have no real good answers for, because fuel is so important, but at the same time, it's dangerous, it's volatile. You do things wrong and you can have a major problem on your hand, whether that's legally or whatever. So, I don't know. I currently only have about 5 gallons stored for the lawn mowers. So we'll see. We'll crack that one open when it comes. But roaming prepper, good to see you. He says, I think so. They can try by sinking some tankers and causing some ish. Yeah, the Hormuz thing is the main one. The Strait of Hormuz is a choke point, major choke point, Horn of Africa. Most of you are smart, so all of you are smart. Where it's at, or what at least it looks like from a map. That area gets shut down, and 25% of the world's oil isn't going from point A to point B. So that's a wee bit of a problem right there. But right now, I just got my little thing opened up. It seems like everybody's still snug tight in their beds, getting ready for a nice day of saber rattling. And obviously, um, nothing major is going to happen right now. Let's see. Russian channel says National Security Committee of the Iranian Parliament, we are ready to use weapons we have not used before in response to an Israeli attack. Yeah. American administration actually ruled out the possibility of using U.S. armed forces to intercept Russian missiles and drones during a military operation in Ukraine. Oh, that was another thing I want to talk about. Zelensky weighed in, and he basically is like, why are you helping them with this international response against Iran? You guys should be helping me. So that's going to be on the table. He had a big old thing about that. So I don't know. Another holding pattern. I mean, it's. I think Frank is his name. Said that. He said, "Man, he's like just crap or get off the pot." That kind of thing. And we every night we're here in this like holding pattern, waiting, holding our breath to what kind of response the other side's going to do. Got to kiss my new puppy. Good night. Good night, love. All right, friends. I think I'm going to take it over onto the crisis report. We're going to go through this intel and we're going to talk about it further over there. YouTube.com @crisis report. If you're not on that one, / crisis report. But I appreciate you here. Hit the like button, do all those things. Thanks so much to Tamara for his kindness. Thanks to all the subscribers here and all the people that make this so much fun. I mean, for all the HE double hockey sticks going on in the world, at least I get to come here and talk to smartest kids in the room about all this and try to game theory it out so I can at least feel like I'm doing something. So, all right, friends, I appreciate you. You know what to do. Hit them, like them, share them, leave a comment, and I'm going to go on over the crisis report. I appreciate y'all, and we'll see you tomorrow on the next one.